What is going on with the 0x0 token? It's up almost 50% today. Who's actually buying here, who's selling here, and why? Let's have a look at on-chain analytics most people are not considering. Let's try to figure out whether or not the current rally can potentially last longer. Because this is how we can make money in crypto. We have to know more than others. We need to have an edge. Everybody can draw random lines on charts, right? This is not how we can pick better bottoms and better tops. I believe it's better to look at what's happening behind the price action. Now here is what's currently going on. We are up 48% in the last 24 hours alone, and we've got a massive overhang of buyers. 79% of buyers versus only 21% of sellers. And of course, we also see that overhang in the US dollar volume, 78% of buying volume versus 22% of selling volume. So it seems like at least today, the large wallets aren't selling. Otherwise, the selling volume would be more balanced with the buying volume and the selling transactions would be larger in US dollars. That's not what we currently see. Now, here's why everybody gets so excited about OxO. It's the privacy coin play. So it's a token all revolving around privacy. All of the revenue of the application gets distributed to the token holder. And here's the big news around privacy coins. It's revolving around Tornado Cash, so a mixer on the Ethereum chain. The Office of Foreign Asset Controls has exceeded their authority. In other words, Tornado Cash doesn't have to worry that much anymore. Now let's look at two things. Let's look at the social metrics and let's also look at the on-chain metrics. In the socials, we can sometimes determine whether or not there's some kind of obvious manipulation going on. So here we've got the Twitter account, and over here we've got 42,000 followers. Now in Telegram we've got 6,000 subscribers, and on chain we've got 33,000 holders. So this all kind of makes sense. Yes, it is surprising that the number of Twitter followers is larger than the number of holders on chain, but this could simply be users of the platform, not necessarily owners of the token. Now this month we've seen two waves of attention. Have a look at the number of new users over time. That peaked on the 8th of November and it peaked on the 23rd of November. We also see how the number of new users versus returning users peaked at similar points in time. In other words, crypto runs in waves. Surprise, surprise. We see something very similar for the number of buyers and sellers over time. Ideally, you want to be buying when attention is low and you want to be selling when attention is high. Currently, it's rather high. Imagine you would have bought somewhere around here, the beginning of September of this year. That was when the price was over here. And then, of course, we see our two attention waves. And now we are rather high on the attention front again. But here's probably the most useful of the charts. It's a count of the number of retail investors versus whale investors. And the way this distinction is made is by minimum holding thresholds. So how many tokens are in a wallet? On the left side, that's at minimum 5,000. So at the current price, that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token, a bit less than that. In the middle, that's 50,000. So that's now $10,000 worth of the token. And on the right, it's $100,000 worth of the token. We see continued accumulation by small retail. We see how the accumulation slowed down somewhat for the larger retail, and we can see how the whales continue to sell over time. So when those sell-offs here happen, right, when the token crashes by 60%, over here by 40%, this is not retail selling. This is the whales taking profit. And so this seems to be the ideal token to trade in a range, as long as the number of retail investors continues to grow. Whenever the price is depressed, it makes sense to buy. When now the price is very, very high and the whales continue to dump, that's not necessarily the best entry point. Now, here's the thing. I believe that most upside potential is in the small market cap tokens. And it's especially in the meme coins. Have a look at this. In the last 7 days, what performed the best? It's all meme coins and it's hundreds of % potentially. We talked about Chill Guy early on this channel. We talked about Bully early on this channel. We also talked about the TITS token early on this channel. So feel free to follow here. Because here's the problem. Once a token rises to a certain market cap, it takes a lot of capital again to double and triple the token. And especially for meme coins that do have a lot of risk, that can easily go down by 50-60%, you do still want to see the upside potential. And so when the market cap is already pretty high in the billions of dollars, then there is not that much upside potential, but there's still the downside potential. So the risk versus reward isn't that great. Have a look at this. This is the largest meme coins in the last week. Pretty much everything went down down, only Dogecoin went slightly up. So once a meme coin has risen to a certain level, it's time to be cautious. It might make sense to go into the tokens that are not in the billions, but only in the tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. But the question is always, how can we pick the right small meme coin, right? There's so many small meme coins. How do we not get burned? And I believe the answer to this is wallet tracking. So the blockchain is 100% transparent. And so once we've got a wallet of a certain influencer, of somebody that moves markets, of somebody that is a top trader, of somebody that did do the right things in the past. Once we have those wallets, we've got a very nice mechanism to filter what to buy and what to sell. Have a look at this. So this is Martini guy, and he bought the Moon token when it was still at 4066. So that was even before the listing on Radium. So that was directly on the Pump.fun ecosystem platform. When he bought, his position went up by more than 4,000%. Of course, it subsequently collapsed, but that's the idea of trading, right? You don't just want to buy and hold meme coins. Meme coins are a rotation game. You want to be in as long as the momentum is positive, and you want to exit very quickly once it turns around. Have a look at this here. Another alert by the Martini guy. He bought the Fatties token, again directly on Pump.fun. And again, a very similar development. So the purchase happened directly on the platform. Subsequently, the price went up by 1,680% and then came crashing back down. Now, what's important with buying tokens that early, with tracking other influencers, is that first of all, we have to take profit, but secondly, also we have to be somewhat diversified. We can't bet half of our portfolio on a single bet. This is very risk on. So here again, the Martini guy. He bought Chippy, and that was at 2022. Here are his purchases. Now it's at 2016. So there are trades that don't necessarily always work out. It is a game of risk versus reward. You want to buy when the upside is still there. You don't want to buy the meme coins that are in the billions of dollars. But when going risk on like this, it's more important than with any other strategy not to lose everything, right? It's important to make small bets every now and then take profit when those make multiple X returns. And so that's why I made several tutorial videos on the topic, on risk mitigation, on portfolio diversification, of course also on-chain tracking, etc. Now I've talked about him now often enough, so here is that guy. This is Martini guy. He's got 150,000 subscribers and we track 12 of his wallets. We did this through on-chain analytics. We found out some of his wallets. But check this out. This is Alex Becker's channel. We also track his wallets. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. Now, when he talks about a token, it puts that much attention on the token that of course the price has to rise. We've got also 12 of his wallets. We're also tracking Crypto Banter with 1.1 million subscribers. We've got 33 of their wallets. And so I really believe this is the way to get an edge in crypto. It's not just buying random tokens that are funny, that are in some kind of list of trending tokens. I think it's much more important to follow the insiders. It's to follow the early money. It's to follow the people that have more attention and that can push prices higher. I like this strategy of wallet tracking that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course on just that. So it's 8 videos in total. It's how to find influencer wallets, it's how to track them. It's also how to interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. Once we have a signal, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to discuss our on-chain analytics. We have to compare what kind of conclusions we come to. That's why we've got our dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, does it still make sense to buy the token now at roughly 20 cents? Potentially, right? The current momentum is still positive, but it is important to set somewhat maybe of a trailing stop loss, as in when the price action turns around to exit very, very quickly, because unfortunately the whales, they tend to sell quite continuously. I think it is safer to buy the token when it's relatively low in its trading range, and at that point to continue looking at whether or not retail continues to buy. If retail continues to adopt further, right? If they continue to buy even during the bear and when the price is depressed, that's probably the right time to buy, because then the whales are probably not going to dump. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.